Welcome, Avorians and new subscribers. Steve Vetterl on the microphone this morning, Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, or whatever that translates into your country. Welcome, everyone. And then we get a bunch of new subscribers. Welcome to the team. I host these calls at 10 a.m. on Pacific time on Tuesdays and Saturdays. If I could also please have a check that you guys can hear me. See the screen okay? Should be a bunch of sharp patterns. We'll get ready to go here. I'm showing this screen because I'm going to go into the risk profile next after this, but these are reversal patterns, something I would always memorize. A lot of this will help you with some of the manual software, which has been acting exceptionally well, especially Arrow. Taking a closer look, good stuff. Seeing some win rates above 70%. Even if it isn't a perfect setup, it's a very high win rate for a manual-based software. So for those out there that have some extra time that want to do some more manual trading, I highly suggest you take a closer look at Arrow. So those are the patterns. Let's switch over. All right. So trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin and utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk, lead to complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade foreign exchange markets, quite frankly, any markets using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal objectives, level of experience, risk tolerance, whether or not you can afford to lose the money. Oftentimes I found that most people can't. And I would say, don't be a statistic unless it's a positive one. So next page of sharing any of the results from our used software tools, designated face scripts. Please do not use the tuner company recommended settings. Auvoria Prime does not have any recommended settings. They're not a financial advisory firm. We don't own brokerage firms. We don't recommend brokerage firms. There's tons of good ones out there, albeit it's a small list compared to an absolute plethora of Forex brokers out there that are complete junk. So do your homework. We license software. You can use it however you want. It comes out of the box with its own settings, which can be adjusted depending on your risk. Any of the settings I'm sharing as Steve Vetterl, the developer settings are not company recommended. So let me just close out of this here. Let's move over to the Forex. Going to have a quick one today. Every time I say that, though, I run an entire hour meeting. It's funny. Today will be quick. So, Forex Factory. Don't really have anything going on until tomorrow. So, it's actually noticed some pretty decent trading here over the last couple of days, which is good. The whether it be the system executing trades for you or you guys manually taking them, I've seen some pretty good results so far this week, so that's great to see. Tomorrow and Thursday, rife with risk. Why? Because literally every central bank out there that's worthy of something is going on with everything that's crazy and bananas in this. So I personally, if I'm in a profit coming into a week like this, especially if it's a system where I accept the trades, I usually won't be accepting anything on days like Wednesday, Thursday, or probably Friday. Honestly, guys, for me, I don't know if you can see the calendar here or not. Today's the 15th. Here's Christmas next Friday. So for those of you that celebrate Christmas around the world, it's next Friday. And this whole week, volumes are going to be lower. So essentially next week, the 21st of Monday through the 25th, volumes will be typically lower. That certainly is the case in equities and bonds around the world, regardless of what markets are traded. Some of the best traders are on holiday, as they call it in Europe, for most of this period of time. Okay. So just know that I typically don't trade a lot during these periods of time. Spend some time with the family, we'll go skiing, whatever the case may be. Even though the rather draconian measures in the state have a chunk of us locked down, I don't seem to see a lot of citizens paying attention to that. So it's good to see. Rise up against the government, right? So that's kind of my You could do whatever you want. I typically will take this time to clean out systems, update folders, set goals for next year, stuff like that. Cut the budget, set the budget, and then cut the budget. So, in any case, but that's kind of my plan. But that's just a heads up on what's going on. Typically, markets will trade, is one of the questions I'm being asked right now. Markets will trade all the way up. They won't be trading on the 25th of the 1st. See, that's New Year's Day, Friday, which is actually, this is a great calendar this year, really is. When Christmas falls in the middle of the year, even though a lot of people are home, can't get together with families for all obvious reasons here. In a perfect year, not 2020, which is a piece of shit year, this would be awesome. Because you come into the holidays and literally have like 2 Fridays of 2 big holidays, which is great. All right, so I digress. Now let's jump to the charts here. DXY. First, we're going to talk about. See how we're right on the edge here. DXY. See if I can make this larger screen. Right on the edge. Cliff being 90.41, if I'm not mistaken, right? And since this is the bottom of what I think should be a support, I'm not sure why a line's not forming here on our favorite squeeze zone indicator that Desan built. You could probably just draw a line here. We break below this, we'll probably see some extension. We're not getting enough movement because of the holidays. We may start to just stay inside this whole range right in here. This is typically a consolidation within these ranges right here. Range high would be essentially just under the 92, maybe just slightly above the 92 area here on DXY. And then essentially 90.5 is the bottom right here. We bounce above and in between these two ranges. It's typically better for a martingale system to trade something like that. If we break below this and we start to see a big drop in the dollar, everything else that's denominated on the other side of that currency is going to go up. How much, how far, how long, I don't know. So it's a crapshoot when you're charting this stuff. If it breaks again and starts to move lower, I think that a lot of that may be dependent on some volume coming in, maybe some surprise factor, maybe different governments actually putting together, bailout packages 2, 3, and 4. Can't really be sure at this point. So the Q&A window is open. If you guys got any questions or anything, I'll probably answer questions here, for about the next 5 minutes or so, and I'm going to call it. What else? So let's take a look at Euro USD. So same thing, tight consolidation up around just under the 22 area. 1, 2, 3, arguably 4 dojis formed. Indecision candles, lower volume, consolidating a big break higher. Again, if we start to lift up on this, just know that we could see a candle it's going to be tough, in my opinion, for those accepting short trades during this period of time, next couple of days. So that's why it may be a little tougher, not only from how the charts are playing out and potentially what can happen, but also news stories tomorrow. So just be on high alert. Let your teams know. Those that you think are not paying attention, slap them upside the back of the head and tell them they need to pay attention. Let's take a look at the euro. Let's take a look at the GBP here. Back up against this range again, just like I had mentioned. Not much more to talk about there. Take a look at Euro JPY. Same thing. This chart looks very similar to the Euro USD. Broke out. Tight consolidation. I think just sort of currency markets, I think, are just sort of waiting for the next shoe to drop. USD JPY, again, acting quite well. Tight ranges. US CAD. See now notice this thing is just continuing to fall. So you'd have to go all the way back to quite a while ago. So you guys can see me shrinking up the chart on the daily, or if we jump to a weekly, You can see we have to go all the way back to, hell, 18 the last time this thing was down here. So it's a little bit tougher for systems. And this is kind of why we're one of the reasons why we're always recommending diversification of different softwares here is, if one is not getting the best of returns, then you have something like an Arrow or another type of piece of software coming up, like Gearbox, essentially, to have trades if you're already using variable, just that diversification. So eventually, when we get everything all ironed out and all that, and it seems like updates always come, which is part of just continuing to develop software, get everything straightened out in terms of these central banks, and maybe get some direction on what they're going to do. I think we'll be able to have some better direction for everybody once we get past the holiday season. US dollar, Swissy. Now notice it's almost like this thing's giving us a peek into the future of what the DXY is going to do, right? It's interesting. So the dollar's continuing it's it's just continuing its fall. So I'm wondering if this is our little like canary in the coal mine right here last couple of days. It certainly could be. GBP NZD, going back on a weekly chart here because I just want to see where we were last time that we got down to this area here and so forth. So the advice I'm going to leave everybody with as I take off here is, if you are not, I still continue to see people send me emails and they haven't really attempted to hook up their MyFX books. And I really think it's something everybody should have, whether it's a demo or a live account. Really does help reduce risk. It helps you understand how these trades are being executed. And if you don't want to do that, at a bare minimum, just go through your trades every once in a while and see what's going on. Why did it take a particular sequence of trades? I prefer to see it analyzed in the aggregate. And I'll be sharing more FX books as we get clarity on corporate communication surrounding all that. But we do have some more information coming out in regards to, what we can and what we cannot share. So with that being said, if there's no other questions, I will call it a day early. I wish everybody a great week. I think what I'm also going to be doing this week is I'm going to try and secure some guests for January. So I have a number of folks in the biz that can come in and provide some additional insight, different type of analysis in most cases that what I do. I overlay some more stuff on the charts. I'm going to probably post some more reversal patterns. And, at a bare minimum, you can print these out, hang them over your computer, study them along with some of the other stuff I've posted. It'll help you on your way to being able to recognize this. This will also be quite helpful stuff when you're accepting trades, different patterns, whether the software is executing trades for you or not. And even if it is executing for you, you can always go in and set up an additional subscription there if you want. If you have it in the budget. I wish everybody a great week. Steve Vetterl signing off. May the trades be with you.